Everybody, welcome back with the Purplatypus is the name, and today we are talking about weapon engravings. Now, this is not going to be a in-depth guide, as we do not have it in the game yet, so I haven't had my hands on it. But we are going to give it a bit of an overview, and then we will revisit this in a bit. So, they announced that they are releasing chapters 7 and 8 of the Fool's Journey. Once you clear 8.5, I believe it should say so right up here. Once you clear 8.5, you are going to unlock gear engraving. So what is this? This is basically you putting enchantment on gear. Now, I am very excited for this, and honestly, I'm a little worried for it as well, which I'll get into. First, let's kind of give it an overview. I'll give you my thoughts on it after we actually just look at what it is. So, you consume engraving materials to engrave your gear, which will randomly add 1 to 3 attributes. Let's see if I could zoom in on this. I don't think so. Maybe I should have done it, but you can see here there's max, maybe you can't, but it's like max HP up and max HP up percent. You could choose to keep or discard the engraved based on its effect. The higher the quality of the engraving material, the greater the probability of obtaining powerful attributes. So this is actually kind of interesting. So like apparently you put the sword on there, it has HP. Maybe it's always HP, maybe it's not. I don't yet know. Cup, maybe it could be attack or HP or defense, and maybe this could be magic or, I don't know. I'm sure they're all going to have a stat attached. But we're actually going to get it from Radiant Forging, which seems kind of interesting because I don't think we get that yet, but I think we're going to have to be a higher level. But here's where it gets really interesting. So already you get to just make all your weapons better. Not all your weapons, I guess, but you get to take, who knows how hard it is to do, but you are going to be able to take your most powerful weapons and push them even further, which is a great source of power. But now let's get into the complex aspect of it. Engraving Resonance refers to the passive skill effect resulting from the combination of 2 engravings on the weapon. So, and the engravings on the weapon and the trinket worn by the same character. So basically, you're going to be able to engrave one of these onto a weapon. You're also going to be able to engrave one of these onto a armor piece. It's called trinket, but it's like armor. You know what I mean? The second equipment slot. Now, based on the 2 engravings, there is going to be a combination effect, okay? So there's one for each of the 4, and then there's one for each combination of them, right? I think every combination has one, like cup and wand, cup and wand has this one, and then cup and they all have, every combination has one. So if you do sword and sword, actively attacking unharmed enemies increases crit by 20%. So like, is this good? I think this is probably not that good, honestly. If it increased crit damage by 20%, if it does crit rate and crit damage, it becomes good, but the damage is the important part. A lot of enemies, a lot of characters that want to actually kill shit are pretty good at getting crit on back attacks already. Wand, after using a basic attack, skill, strike back, or assisting attack, gain a random level 2 buff, right? So some of these are good. Some of these seem a little bit weaker than others. Like the ones that aren't being combined seem a little bit weaker, and the ones that combine different effects that are like 2 different ones seems a little bit stronger. But let's look at one that looks like a really cool, like decrease physical damage taken by 15%, right? Like that's pretty good. At the end of the turn, this one, it seems insane. At the end of the turn, there is a 50% chance to gain Engraving Resonance. The effect of Engraving Resonance is, it is kind of interesting that this says this is the same thing as this, but apparently they're different. I don't know. But the effect, when using an active skill, the next time you use an active skill, you refund the energy consumption and it resets the cooldown. And the skill effect is a cooldown of 4 turns. So it does not trigger in real-time combat. The effect changes to increasing HP attack and defense by 5%. Okay, so this is only going to work in PvE, which is why it's so busted. But in real-time PvP, it actually just gives you a HP attack and defense 5%, 50% chance. I don't know if it has a cooldown, but in PvE content, this is so fucking broken. 50% of the time, you're going to be able to use a skill for 4 energy, and it's going to instantly give you the 4 energy back. And if the skill has a cooldown, you're going to be able to use it again. Absolutely fucking busted. So there is a lot of different ways to customize your characters here. Now, the reason why I say I'm not 100% so I love this. I love simple, easy ways to increase your power level, also while furthering to build characters in a unique way. Maybe you want, while you're at full HP, increase your attack and defense by 12%, or, maybe you want that on one of your characters. But this is going to make certain equipment just It's going to be harder, I feel like, to build perfect equipment for specific units, because let's say I have a really good legendary spear for Gloria, and I decide that I want Gloria to have, I don't know, whatever, sword and wand. Before actively attacking, for each one tile traversed, increase attack and defense by 4% of the 12%, and it'll last until the start of your next turn. So the defense, you know, sticks around. Maybe I decide I want Gloria to have sword and wand on, so I put sword on the weapon, wand on the trinket I want her to equip. But maybe that's my best spear, you know, and so maybe I want to use that spear on a different character that maybe I don't want the sword on that character at all, because maybe I went with like an attack percent up, but I want an HP percent up, but it's still my best spear. So I feel like there's going to be a little bit of clunkiness in trying to get perfect items for characters. This will strongly incentivize getting, you might want to not combine your legendaries. You might want to keep multiple legendaries of the same type, but they're really expensive to level up. So this is a great system. It's really fun. I'm excited for it. I do think with only the tarot being slightly randomized, having a second system of slightly being able to randomize and customize your gear and stuff is really good. I am a little concerned about it, slightly, but overall, I would say I'm like 80% positive. 20%, I'm like, fuck, man. I want to use this weapon on 2 different characters with very different skill sets because this is my best stat stick at this point. But I think the longer we play this game, the more and more and more this will become like, you know, as we get more gear, I actually think this will become a smaller problem because every character will have like almost their assigned legendary piece of gear with a subs effect that you want. Because right now, I'm mostly just using gear with the highest rarity and highest stars, you know, like stat sticks, because usually stats are going to be better. Not always, but if the effects of my 2 legendary spears are similar in the fact that they don't really affect it that much, that character, then I'm just giving them the best stat stick. So this is a great way to increase our power. I love this wand and cup, by the way. This is the only one that specifically has a different effect in real-time PvP. I bet that wasn't, I bet when they originally released this, it didn't have that, and it fucking ruined real-time PvP. So this is like a preemptive nerf from when the game came out. But yeah, brand new system coming to the game, Engraving Resonance. We're going to be getting these from farming our daily stuff. I bet when it actually drops, we're going to get a little bit of a boost of stuff, right? Because you're going to be able to clear all those stages. Hopefully they have a bunch of stages you can clear right away. I mean, I guess not, but hopefully you get a pretty big chunk of this to like play around with, where we get to not just feel like, all right, I get enough for one thing to do. But yeah, I'm really excited for this. This is going to be a great way. This is also what's really nice is the fact that we just get like these flat damage debuffs and we get increased damage and stuff. This will also help us a lot on tower, because right now we have to cheese tower super hard. This is one step closer to actually being able to just fight tower on a stats to stats level, where you could use a more traditional strategy as opposed to the hit and run technique of percent based damage and knocking things off cliffs and using barrels to summon things, you know, things like that. But anyway, that is all for this one, guys. Thank you very much. Purplatypus is Purplatypus. I'll see you on the flip-flops. Bye!
Platypus on the rise, watch the views go.